Welcome to the next installment of the Backpost Season 3. I'm excited to be here with my fellow Chelsea fans. What's up, bros? What's up? How y'all doing? So, listen, hey, man, we ain't got to say too much. Right? Chelsea started coming off of last season with Pochettino leaving the club and Enzo Maresca coming in. He had a full summer, got his players in. The squad is still pretty big, but he got his players in. He had a full year to get his system together. They finished fourth, and they won the Conference League. They're back in Champions League, which, as we know, was well ahead of schedule because I know you guys remember in the middle of the season, he was saying that the ownership told him he didn't have to finish top four. But after he said that, the fans didn't like it, so the pressure was on, and they responded and they met the pressure. So I want to ask you guys, give me your two players who performed well, and then two players who just absolutely bombed this season.
Okay, which one you want first?
Let's start with the ones who disappointed you.
All right. Okay, so you want to take this one?
Man, look, I'm gonna go with Sanchez, goalkeeper. He was just selling too much.
Yeah.
For a goalkeeper, he kept himself like Butterfingers. I don't know, for some reason you're not really doing his job well. And another person might be Enzo Fernandez. I like Enzo a lot. Don't get me wrong.
Whoa.
I like Enzo a lot. I like his style of play. But for the amount of money we're paying him, like the caliber player he is, he didn't really give like the performance you actually expected this season. But for some of the big games, he showed out.
Okay.
Right? He's just not consistent enough. And we need consistency for players like that.
Okay.
That's my thing with him. That's
Okay.
it.
I'm gonna circle back to the Enzo point because that I don't think I like that. I don't think I like that at
That's
all.
cool.
Yeah.
Please don't talk to me.
Yeah, I definitely would go with Robert Sanchez, just because I feel like if any other team in the Premier League had Robert Sanchez as a goalkeeper, I really want to know where they would finish.
Probably finish higher than United, but that's
Onana's not great either, but
That's
Robert
true.
Sanchez, just one thing you want from your goalkeeper, even if you're not making the craziest saves, is just that insurance of confidence.
that
That the defenders can depend on, and I think that that whole back line was shaky because I never know what to expect from Robert Sanchez.
For sure.
He did have the highest save percentage in the Premier League, which is actually slept on. He one thing he can do is save the ball. That's one thing he can do.
I
But
don't
everything
agree.
else,
That's
he's not
one of
really
those things where I feel like numbers versus the eye test. We watched this man miss saves that he should have made.
Yep.
Now, granted, we probably face more shots statistically. That's why his average is higher. But at the end of the day, we saw what we saw.
Yeah.
Right? We saw what we saw. Back to the Enzo point.
All right, that's fine.
I can't agree with that. You take Enzo out of our midfield, and I don't think we perform as well as we did point blank, period.
You're actually right. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's a player that he's kind of set standard for himself. He's not living up to that standard, right?
I mean, but winning the World Cup, obviously, with the great amount of talent he had around him,
definitely.
I feel like it's unfair to set that stand. Now, if you're talking about the price tag, for sure, but he's still a young player.
Oh, definitely. He is young. But I'm not a type to compare players. We have young players who perform like at a level where it's like, you know what, they can even go a little bit higher than that price tag. I expect that from Enzo. However, like when you're coming for like a new coach, new system, I mean, the standard is not a bit too much for you, but it's like you're Enzo, right?
I get that.
You're Enzo. Bro, you're supposed to be like, not the powerhouse of the midfield, but you're supposed to like make things move in the midfield. He's not doing that too much.
Okay.
I don't see that too often from him.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
That's why I said that.
I would just disagree with you because I think there's just players who disappointed way more than Enzo. I think Enzo,
For sure.
I think his season,
For
he can look back on
sure.
this season with his head held high. Enzo captained us a lot of times when Reece James was injured. He had some crucial goals. I think about Liverpool. I think about obviously his goal in the final. Enzo, he's not a disappointing player.
He had some.
I would honestly
goals.
put my second player as Nico Jackson.
I'm surprised he wasn't number one for either one of
to
y'all.
be honest, that's like
I'd probably put Nico Jackson just because he actually had a worse season this season. He had his first season.
Statistically, yes.
And he's kind of like the striker version of Sanchez. How Sanchez.
Damn.
No, seriously. How Sanchez
Hey,
he still
yo.
made his staves and stuff like that,
but
he's still the eye test is
failing
poor.
every time. Yeah.
I think Nico Jackson we're so lucky to even be where we're at with Nico Jackson as our only striker this season. I can't believe we still did it, which kind of leads me into my impressive player this season that I know might be a wild card, which is Pedro Neto. Pedro Neto, now I know his stats don't jump off the page, but when I think about times where Nico Jackson wasn't there, who was playing striker? Pedro Neto. When Sancho wasn't there, playing on the right wing, who was playing left wing, striker, right wing, all across that front line. Pedro Neto played, and even if he didn't score a goal, he impacted his fullback that was guarding him. If he was playing striker, he was holding the ball up off men, distributing it back, putting runs in behind. Like every single thing that Nico Jackson was doing as striker, Pedro Neto was also doing, just obviously not as effectively. On the right wing, we know that's just, I see him coming in against Arsenal, outside the box, scoring that equalizer. Big confidence boost for us throughout the season. I remember him coming in, applying that assist for Tyreek George's goal versus Fulham. Then coming in on his own, banging that goal to set us on for, I feel like, a really strong end of the season. I think that was all through Pedro Neto. And on top of that, his defensive output from the wing.
Absolutely.
He was almost playing fullback.
Absolutely.
So Pedro Neto was unsung hero of the season for me. So I want to give him his flowers.
I can agree with that. I ain't gonna lie. I was gonna kind of grill you on it, but then I thought about it, and I can see his like untangible characteristics that heavily impacted the game. Especially we went that long stretch where Nico was injured, and he was playing right wing, left wing, striker. Noni was injured as well. Madueke wasn't playing for some time. He was playing all those positions. So I can give him an unsung hero award. Kwame, who else do you think played well this season?
Man, no brainer, bruh. You know I'm gonna go for.
Go ahead.
Cole Palmer.
Of course.
Right? Most goals for Chelsea, most assists. It's like anytime he's in the game, you know something's gonna happen when he has the ball. It's exciting when you see him have the ball, right? And also, I kind of disagree with him the first time, but after he gave like some few points on Neto, I like his hustling nature, right?
Yeah.
Like the Conference League final, he played on the left, and it's like, I like him.
Yeah.
He might not score, but the eye test, just watch the game, right? He's going to track back. He's going to help with the fullbacks and everything. So like, I agree with you on that one. But like for Cole Palmer, just a no-brainer, man. Like you can't pick like your favorite player and not choose Cole Palmer. You know what I'm saying? Even though he kind of like a slow end, but like I think we're gonna get to that. One of my favorite games, Cole Palmer like was in his Spurs, December 8th, when we came back and won the 4-3. One of my best games, man. Look, we're down 2-0.
Yeah.
Palmer, Enzo, they all showed out. Sancho, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so Palmer's like one of my favorite players and like the best player for me for Chelsea. So,
Chelsea, yeah. Denzel, I know you may have a different perspective on how Cole Palmer played this season.
Yeah.
How did you see him this season?
So first of all, everybody who knows me knows Cole Palmer is my favorite player. You know, he's a player that I was excited about early. Before like he started banging goals, I remember I was like, you know what, this guy. I remember he scored the in the Community Shield versus Arsenal, a banger.
Arsenal,
Then he scored that header in the Super Cup.
Yep,
so I was like, oh no, we actually signed somebody who has some cojones. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure.
And I was excited about that. But I feel like we still gotta. If we talk about best players, we gotta give. I love consistency.
Yeah.
Not just in soccer, just in the life period. And with Moises Caicedo starting every single big game, 38 out of 38 starts. You know, there was times where he was holding that whole midfield together by himself. It was really his coming of age season this year. So I think that Moises Caicedo, he has to be in our top 2 players if we're gonna pick good players. And you know, I feel like Moises Caicedo is worth every penny. You know, people want to always talk about the price we pay for him, but let's not forget Liverpool bidded that same money a couple days before we bidded that. We had to actually outbid Liverpool, so Liverpool was cool paying that money. And I feel like a lot of clubs would have been cool paying over 100 million for Moises Caicedo because he's complete. He's complete from defense to offense. I mean, last year when he gets that blonde hair, he would score a banger. He would score a banger. That final game, Caicedo is a dangerous man. That banger from half field last year versus Brighton. I'm coming in and just, you know, his tenacity on offense as well as defense. The tackles he wins. I'm not going to put anyone in my Conte category because I think that's just a one-off category. But he's very close defensively. He's very close. He reminds me a lot of Sarri Conte. If you remember Sarri Conte when he wasn't when he wasn't playing so much as a 6, when he was kind of in between the 8, you know, that's what he kind of reminds me of. And Moises, I mean, the sky's the limit for him.
You're right.
The sky's the limit for him.
Something about football, we tend to do this thing where we don't give like midfielders their flowers.
That's true.
Me myself, I do that a lot, right? So to be honest, I should just give it to Caicedo. He's the best. He was the best player of our team. Like based on the season throughout. We tend to give to forwards and whatnot. But Caicedo was just like, he was tremendous this season. like he was like the glue.
Yeah.
Like the way Rodri is the glue for Man City. I'm not gonna like put him that he's not on that level yet, right? But he did his thing this season, right? He was the powerhouse. Like everywhere he's like his, like you just said, like Conte, he doesn't get tired, bro.
Yeah.
Like he's a hustler.
And I feel like Moises Caicedo will start for every team in the league.
Pretty much.
Ooh, he walks into every single team in the league.
Every team.
Yeah, easy.
Every team.
Let me go back to Cole Palmer, because I think, and I don't want it to be like I'm making an excuse for him, because at the end of the day, I think the expectation Cole Palmer set from last season is at least 20 goals, maybe 10 assists as well. But what I saw a lot this season was Cole Palmer picking up the ball at the half line instead of at the top of the 18, which he was doing a lot last season. I feel like that 30 yards he had to carry the ball, by the time he gets there, there's 3-4 defenders out. He has to release the ball. And I don't think that should have been Cole Palmer's responsibility. I think because he was in that space, other statistics of his shone very highly. He had the most big chances created, period, for Chelsea. But because we didn't have anybody on the end of it, he got 8 assists all season? He should have had way more than that. But it's because there's this gap in our midfield, I feel like, where that person who needs to be carrying the ball a little bit more, and this is where I can agree with you on Enzo.
Hey, man, I told you.
He needs to be the person who's driving the ball forward, then looking for Cole Palmer, then he can distribute to the wingers / attackers. Because too many times this season, even in the Conference League finals, too many times I see him at our half line with the ball and everybody's trying to make runs. Well, no, I want Cole making that run and somebody else holding the ball there, driving it forward. So I can agree. I think overall, Moises Caicedo has to be Chelsea's player of the season, best player in the team, point blank period, for how consistently he showed up and how well he played. And I mean, the Conte shouts are warranted. I mean, Conte is a premium midfielder. When we talk about like luxury midfielders, he's that type of player. And, you know, Caicedo definitely can fall into that space. But I want to pivot to Enzo Maresca, right? He has a whole summer, right? This ain't, you know, Amorim or who. He had a whole summer. He got the players that he wanted for the most part. Of course, there's still a whole bunch of players on Chelsea's roster that need to be sold or whatever the case may be, but he got the players that he wanted. Even though he said the things that he said this season, do you guys think he should continue for the long term for this club?
Absolutely. Enzo Maresca is... honestly, he did such a great job this season. Now, I'm a Chelsea fan, so I'm used to seeing us grind out results with like not exciting football. Conte, Mourinho. I mean, sorry, ball was kind of the first time we had like kind of fluidity,
attractive.
But even still, like Tuchel. All those managers, defensively solid, possession based, nick our goal, keep our clean sheet. That's a Chelsea philosophy. So
for sure,
him coming in and playing a more possession based game that's not as exciting as Pochettino, for me, you know, I could accept that. You know, I wasn't really too crazy about us having that kamikaze football. We had the third best defensive record in the league this season, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? No one would have thought, even with Robert Sanchez and all, we still had the third best defense in the Premier League this season. And that's definitely up to Maresca's just controlling the game more. And then our attack, I think with better pieces besides, you know, Jackson and just more, you know, investment this summer, I think our attack will also be okay. So I'm not really critiquing him. I think he also did a really good job of just shutting people up off rip. People have so much. The way people are silent about our team, the only thing they can talk about is $1 billion.
Bro, it's Chelsea,
okay.
Bro.
Before they were talking about our dressing room, people camping outside.
It's Chelsea.
We can't. I know we're the most hated team, and you know I love that. You know, because it feels good to, you know, they hate us for a reason. But
for sure.
I think that he came in and he immediately picked his squad. These other guys, Chilwell, Chalobah, all you guys that aren't part of the plan. I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you, but you're not here. That takes cojones. You know, that takes like a real. Leadership to be able to do those type of decisions. Sterling, people like that, they're all on the out peripheral. Okay, no, we're working with these people, and these are who I'm working with. I think I will critique him a little bit the way he handled the Conference League squad. Like we really had an A team and a B team. Then when it was time for us to depend on our B team, when our A team kind of got injured or suspended or whatnot, they didn't have the confidence. We had to ship guys out, so that was kind of tough. But I think Enzo Maresca overall for his first season to qualify top 4, not even top 5. We didn't depend on no top
Yeah,
5 luck. none of that.
yeah.
We banged top 4, and for us to win the trophy at hand, which I feel like people are going to attack us for being a conference league, but I mean, we were just 12th place 2 seasons ago. Like, I feel like conference league honestly was our level outside of all the hype.
Yeah.
If you look at our squad,
For sure.
people that we had,
They're very
I
young.
think we were a conference
too.
league team.
Yeah.
You know, honestly. So for us to win the conference league in the fashion that we did, especially it's not we're playing our best team every game. We're playing our B team, our academy throughout this whole tournament. So we treated it the way it was supposed to be treated. Even when it came into it, we still started our second string keeper. We didn't start our best players in the final either. So it's
That's
not like
true.
we took it like this huge deal that we put all our resources behind.
Yeah.
We treated it like it should have. So I respect that.
I feel like, and you know, other teams may feel like I'm taking a shot at them, but like when Chelsea go to the Europa League, they win. Every time we've gone to the Europa League, we've won. We've gone to the Conference League, we've won. So
Bro.
I can agree with that sentiment. Kwame, now how do you feel about Enzo, and should he stay?
Man,
should
I
he
love
go?
him. He should stay, man.
He should stay?
Stay. Because
Yeah.
looking at the coaches we came from Lampard to freaking
Graham Potter. And,
bro. So it's
Yeah.
like, I'm the type to give someone a chance before, like, you know what, let him go, right? I remember when Enzo came, I didn't have like any like expectation for him, but I'm like, you know what, one, he's Italian. I like Italian coaches.
Yeah.
I
They
like
do
the
well
style
at
of
Chelsea.
play. You know what I'm saying? They do well at Chelsea. You know what I'm saying? So like, I was like, you know what? Even though he's coming from a championship team, we are at the championship level right now because we're not Chelsea like that anymore.
Yeah.
So give him a chance. Let him try to get into the team, have a system like in place. Few seasons here and there. You can't just bet him of the first season.
After, yeah.
All right, so let's say the first season goes, and then after that, if he doesn't do too well, then you can do what? You can let him go. But English just tends to give like coaches and players before they even get acclimated to the culture of the team or whatever. They get too much pressure.
Yeah.
But with him, it's like nothing gets to him. That's what I like him a lot, right? He's not scared to say what he wants to say.
Yeah.
One thing I like about him a lot, he's not a yes man. Right? Not like the other coach we had. So it's like, I was excited to have him, and I didn't think we're going to be top 4. I'm going to be honest with you.
I didn't.
Right?
Sure.
I didn't think either, right?
I didn't either.
If we're being realistic right now, I didn't think we're going to be top 4. I was hoping for top 4, and we got it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a happy guy. And he did it for us.
Yeah, for sure.
He did it for us. It's like, and people were saying about conference league here and there, whatnot. Bro, it's conference league, right? First of all, it's not at Chelsea's level. Chelsea's not good enough to be in Champions League, but come on, bro. It's a conference league.
Yeah.
First of all, against Betis,
You had full confidence.
bro, come on.
True.
Like,
True.
it's a conference. Look at the teams we're playing.
Yeah.
I didn't care. I knew we're gonna win it. We're gonna win it. But people were like, shout, "Oh, this is Betis." I'm like, bro, who cares? This is real Betis, bro. It's Chelsea we're talking about.
Yeah.
I wasn't scared at all. But then again, it's like, there was a lot of games, so you're trying to figure out like what teams to use, what players to use for what games and whatnot.
Yeah.
He did well. I like him. I think he should stay.
Okay.
I don't think people should be like, he should just go away. Nah, he's done well. Give him like a few seasons here and there, and then you can vet him up.
And one thing about Pep disciples, man, like historically, all Pep disciples are doing well. Even Vincent Kompany, just won. He won a championship with Burnley. Then he, with Bayern, he just won Harry Kane's first trophy. Except for Arteta.
Except for
That Arteta guy, I don't know about him.
That other guy, I can't.
But
that's no effect, man.
Let me ask you guys this. I got 2 questions for you guys before we wrap up. Number 1, so we see the new ownership came in after Chelsea had to forcibly sell the club, whatever. They have been very, very stringent about 2 things: keeping the wage bill down and buying young players only. Now, I think the thing that irks me the most about this current Chelsea team is we have no experience in this team.
Yeah.
None. But the club doesn't look like they want to buy anybody of experience. So my question is, do you guys think this youth project that we've been running, that like we've been doing so far, is going to get us back to the Chelsea that we know? It may not be, like you said, with the managers who are like, oh, we got our goal, we're gonna park that bus and we're gonna get our 3 points. It may not be that, you're right. But can we rely on this project for the future?
So I believe that if we look around world football right now, that if we look at people like Lamine Yamal, we look at Desiree Doué, if we look at a lot of young prodigies coming through the game, football has changed.
Okay.
that youth, that experience and stuff like that. As we see PSG versus Inter Milan, you would describe Inter Milan as that team that has all that experience.
They do.
Every single thing that you probably think Chelsea isn't, you know. But you see, you got a young PSG team that has a young midfield, has young wingers, young strikers. Even had Bato, which is a young center back. You know, I think that youth is way more effective now, just due to the advancement of the game.
Sure.
So with that in mind, you know, I do have a lot of confidence in the project. At first, it was very hard to understand. Like, honestly, Chelsea fans, we have to be happy right now. We've been through a lot.
True.
We have been through a lot of uncertainty, like things that no other club has ever experienced.
Yeah.
You know, things that had nothing to do with football completely changed the face of our club.
Yeah.
Roman, our trusted leader, having to just sell the club out of nowhere. We got these American owners. We don't know what to expect. We don't know what's going on with our club. We've been through a lot mentally. So for us to be at this point where we kind of see a little bit of a future, be back top four with a trophy. I mean, I honestly, there was days where I used to think that we would never be here again.
Oh, for sure.
So I'll give my owners credit for having a vision, sticking to it. These guys are businessmen, right? So they're investing in young talent. They're putting them on long deals. We're doing things differently than a lot of clubs are. But I would say that us being in top four with Champions League qualification, I think we're in the right place to really build off of this project. Because, you know, when we play games like FIFA and stuff, right? You know how you play a FIFA game and you'll see like, you send your scouts out on career mode and you'll see like the little the overall like potential from
for the
83
players,
to 90 or whatever.
Yeah.
So cool. We got our gem. We got our jewel in the crown. We got Cole Palmer. Right now we can really build off of him. We have that outside of just the youth thing, we're also doing that Man Cityfication, right? Where we have the Man City coach, we have the Man City striker now, Liam Delap. We have the Man City Lavia, Cole, that spine that we're building through the city thing. I think there's a lot of good things that they're doing. Obviously, it's hard to really get behind when we're not performing the well as we are. But I would actually argue that we're performing the way that we should be. We have the youngest team in Premier League history.
For sure.
So I'm not going to expect them to be consistent throughout the year. I can't keep holding them to Drogba and Lampard. I got to let those people go. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I can only think about the team that's in front of me. The team that's in front of me is a very youthful team with a lot of upbringing. And I think that we really delivered on that. So I got to give their owners their credit because a lot of things that they have done had us in the title race at the beginning of the season. You know what I'm saying? People forget that. The only reason that we really fell off, I don't think it's because of Maresca. I think it's because we lost key players to our team like Lavia. People don't understand how important Romeo Lavia is to Maresca. That guy, when he comes back, he really changes the things for us. Like, we really look at a title contending team with people like Lavia. So not to overtalk, because I'm gonna let you get to your point too. But
I want Kwame to answer a different question. Our defense. Me personally, I have no confidence in our defense. Like, for the last so many years that I've been watching Chelsea play, I've always had this confidence about certain things, right? Number one being our defense. We've had consistent goalkeepers. We've had pretty solid defenders that but I don't see that now. Can you speak to that and how that's gonna affect the longer term of the project going forward?
Just to pivot what he was saying. We're trying to. So right now it's like we're trying to use young players more. So it's more of the coach to actually believe in these young players, right? There's an example he was giving, like Luis Enrique. One thing people actually forget is like he actually believed in the players, right? So like once the players see that you actually believe in them, they perform the way they want to perform. All right, cool. Even though we might not have the most experienced like defenders and whatnot, it's like the job of the coach and the technical whatever leaders to actually instill this confidence in the players. We have players like, hey man, the best wide back in the league. We have Reece James.
We have the best fullbacks in the league.
You know, so defensively, you know, he has the experience, right? Even though he like, what's the name? Maresca said he's trying to like let him get a feel back in the game like gradually because he just come up with an injury. He's someone who can actually help build the other like defenders like Colwell. Fofana come up with injury every single time. Tosin, I like Tosin a lot.
Me too. I don't trust that guy.
I like Tosin a lot.
He's
burned 1v1
versus Nottingham.
I mean, look, it's experience. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
We gotta give them room to grow. They're young. That's one thing we don't do. Like Chelsea fans don't do that.
We don't.
It's like we're so used to having like John Terry, but look, we gotta give them room to grow. They're not John Terry.
For sure.
He's Tosin. We gotta give them room to grow. You know what I'm saying? Get to that level and then build a confidence for themselves. Because like they might be getting to that level, and then once we start like making fun of them or like bashing them, their confidence just comes down. We can't be doing that, right?
Of course.
We're their fans. We just gotta like, if they make mistakes, you know what I'm saying, just help them build the confidence up. And as a coach, this wasn't a job to do that too. And I feel like, wasn't it for the project? If we stick to the project properly, we might have, hey man, the best defense in the league. And I'm not even gonna lie now.
Okay.
Can I ask you this one thing, right? People always talk about this $1 billion. It's like, even with the $1 billion, right? If we spend $70 million on a center back that never plays, how useful is that? If we spend $65 million on Romeo Latvia and he's always injured, how useful is that? If our captain of this young team, Reece James, is always injured, it's like, I remember, like, I'll be playing FIFA sometimes, right? And I'll put my ideal Chelsea squad on the FIFA. That's never the team I've ever seen play. Like, our $1 billion squad has never played the pitch together, especially not a consistent run of games together. So I was like, I believe that once we actually start seeing the pieces that we bought have time to really gel,
that's fair.
Like a 70 million center back that never plays or 65 million, you know, these players actually have to play on the pitch for us to see the $1 billion, you know?
I agree. But one thing I don't like to do is use injuries as like,
an excuse.
I can't stand that because United had injuries. Right? Their
17th.
best player, arguably, Diallo was gone for, 13 games of the season. And he affects the game.
Yeah.
Right? We talk about Arsenal. They had a lot of injuries. So I hear that. And I like the confidence you guys have in the project. So we'll keep watching and see what happens. But last question, and then we'll wrap up. Where's Chelsea finishing next season?
I honestly believe we're finishing fourth again.
Fourth again. Okay.
Man, I'm shameless, man.
Shameless.
We're gonna win the league, man.
We're winning the league.
We did.
I can see it. I can see it.
I love to hear it. I love to hear it.
We're bringing a striker?
For sure. Well, I want to say thank you guys for joining me today on the Backpost, and I can't wait to have more conversations about Chelsea.
Hey man, up Chelsea.
Yes, sir.
Chelsea.
You know what I'm saying?